Hello and welcome, everyone. Just like every day, you are all welcome to today's after market analysis session at 5 p.m. This is the after market analysis of the Indian markets Nifty and Bank Nifty, where after the market closes, we look at what confirmations we got on the order flow, where the buyers came in, where the sellers appeared, and we try to read the footprint properly. So, if you are new and want to learn order flow in detail, want to learn how to read the footprint well, then you can join this daily live webinar at 5 p.m. in the evening. You will get the link to this live webinar on GoCharting's Discord and Telegram community before 5 p.m. in the evening. You can find it on the Discord and Telegram community. Also, if you are using GoCharting at that particular time, then on the top right corner, you will also get a notification for the webinar. From here, by clicking on this link, you can also join the daily webinar. Okay. Okay, so now before we look at reading order flow and footprint, let's first see what kind of confirmations we had from the volume profile over the past few days. Okay. Because it is on the basis of the volume profile that we draw these levels here, and then on these very levels, we take confirmation from the order flow to see how things are happening. Okay, I will remove today's session from here. Okay. Yesterday, the market was quite a roller coaster. There was an uptrend. Okay, and it formed a shape like this, where almost everywhere, buying and selling seemed to be almost equal. But on the volume profile, this was the opposition zone, and we had marked this opposition zone. After that, we took the consolidation volume profile of the last few sessions here, and their opposition zone was this entire big node. Its opposition zone, which is the value area, the low value area, and then we had also marked a volume node from here. There were only 4 levels, and the good thing is that Nifty stayed above these 4 levels today. First of all, we marked the previous day's opposition zone and node, and then for the entire market of the last 2 to 3 weeks, in which a range has been formed, we took confirmation of its consolidation opposition and consolidation volume profile. There was one note, in that there was this note, the value area low of this volume node, the value area, and we took this entire volume node. This was the confirmation from the volume profile. Before closing today's session in the webinar, we draw these daily volume profile levels. Okay, so now let's see, when Nifty opened today, where did the order flow and footprint show us buying, where were the buyers, where were the sellers, and what kind of confirmation did it give us? Okay. Every day, we read the footprint here with the help of delta. So if you people don't know what delta is, let me explain. Because it is with their help that we read the footprint here. For example, let's take the second candle. Today, there is a red candle. This is the footprint of that candle. On the right side, we have buyers. On the left side, we have sellers. If we total all the buyers on the right side, their combined total will be, let's assume, around 1 lakh plus, 1 lakh meaning the value of the buyers. And suppose, on the left side, we total all the sellers as well. Just take any assumed value. 1,15,000, okay, 1,15,000. So if we subtract these buyers and sellers from each other, what will we get here? Minus 15. 15 means 15,000. So, the same delta has given this confirmation. So, what does delta tell us? It tells us who is more in that particular candle, sellers or buyers. Now, look at any candle. For example, look at this candle. It clearly shows that yes, a good number of sellers have come in. Around 80,000, there are more sellers in this candle. Picked this candle. The delta of this candle has shown it. Now see, whenever the value of sellers is higher, it appears inside the red box and there is a negative sign in front of the value. We call this negative delta. This means that in that particular candle, there are that many more sellers. Positive delta means that there are more buyers inside that candle, like here, 34,000. Okay, we call this positive delta. Positive delta simply means buyers. Okay, now you understand delta. There are two types: positive when there are more buyers and negative when there are more sellers. Now look at this. There are some candles whose delta is very high: 80,000, 34,000, okay, 1,33,000, 1,56,000, okay. And then there are some candles whose delta is very low, just 300, okay, only 13,000, only 8,000. That means there are candles with 50,000, 30,000, 1 lakh, 1 lakh. And then look at these, just 8,000, 10,000, 300, 1,300. Okay, so the candles that have a heavy delta, there is heavy buying and selling happening within those candles. The big players are present right there, and in the candles where the delta is very low, there is comparatively less buying and selling happening in those particular candles. So, what is the benefit for us? To pick those candles in which there has been more buying and selling, and to read the footprint of only those candles. We can even skip the candles whose delta is low. Just like neutral candles. Nothing special has happened inside them. Okay, let's look at the first candle. Just 7,000 delta is not that solid. But there was a twist in the first candle today. The twist was that at one point, sellers came in quite strongly, then buyers also came in strongly, but by the time it closed right there itself. Now, what is maximum delta and minimum delta? I have already shared the GoCharting link in the messages. You can go there, visit the GoCharting YouTube channel and search for what is maximum delta and minimum delta. You will find plenty of videos there. So, you are able to understand the meaning of this candle. Even in the second candle, there isn't any significant volume, just 15,000. There isn't much volume in the third candle either. Now look here, in this candle, there was a good amount of volume. In this candle, there were more sellers, around 80,000. So how will you read the footprint of this candle? What did the delta indicate? There are 80,000 more sellers. We jumped to the footprint of that same candle. We went to the seller's side and looked for the spot where the most selling happened. Which is the spot where the maximum selling took place? 70,000, 53,000, 32,000. Okay, so the delta told us that there are more sellers inside this candle, and from the footprint we saw which spot has the highest number of sellers. We marked the selling zones of those same candles, this one. Okay, now this zone has been broken, right? We didn't see much buying or selling at this zone. Below that, we got some confirmation, so we marked this. What did the next candle do? It moved towards the top of this selling zone, meaning sellers came in but the price moved up. This means that all the selling activity of this candle got completely absorbed here, okay. And in this candle, quite a good number of buyers also came in, 34,000. This is the spot where buyers stepped in strongly, meaning sellers came, their orders were absorbed by the limit orders of buyers, and then quite a few aggressive buyers also entered here. Now see, there isn't any significant volume in any of the candles. In this candle, there was another selling activity trying to break this zone. Whenever there is selling and that selling gets absorbed, then that zone can act as a support for us. So, in the same way, we marked this as a support. This selling came back nicely on the pullback. In this candle, buyers entered and then it came back on the pullback. There was some selling seen, but it wasn't that significant. In the very next candle, It even went above that selling zone, and then everything is neutral. See here, it held quite well in these 2-3 candles, and then we saw a sharp upside movement. Till where? From where it was rejected in the morning, from today's high to the resistance, what happened? Now let's see what happened till here. What happened in Nifty till 10:10 a.m. Sellers came in, but they were absorbed. The mixed candle confirmed that the sellers had been absorbed. Aggressive buyers entered, there was a pullback, and some selling activity took place. Then everything went back to normal, and then we saw a sharp upside movement. Now see, this was the resistance zone which I had explained 5 minutes ago about how this was a resistance zone. Even in the morning, there was a rejection from here, and quite a few buyers came in and looked in these same two candles. There was a delta of over 1.1 lakh, and again, they got stuck around this same resistance. I mean, look at these two candles where there was a significant buying attempt. In the first candle's buying zone itself, you can clearly see 100k buying, and then in the next candle's buying zone as well. This is clearly visible, but longs can't go that far. Why? Because resistance has come in, and even in the morning, there was a rejection from this very level. So, if this resistance is also broken, then everything will turn bullish up to the next resistance. There is no buying activity in the next candles. There is no buying activity in the next candle as well, and hopefully it has broken through all the buying zones. There was buying here, and there was buying here too, but the market got stuck above the resistance, and during the pullback, there was significant selling activity, which completely nullified all the previous buying. I failed it, which means I have absorbed the entire bank. Okay. Now, there was significant selling in this candle. There was considerable selling in this candle as well. There was selling of around 1 lakh. Again, there was a selling absorption around the same zone. But just like here, where the selling was absorbed and buyers had entered, then there was a pretty good move on the pullback. What happened here? Again, selling was absorbed, but boss, look at the delta. There was nothing on the buyer's side anywhere. Buyers didn't even enter. Alright, so just absorption alone won't work. Who will pull the price up? Aggressive buyers, okay. So, whenever after selling absorption or buying absorption, you see buyers or sellers, then it will be good for you. But here, the buyers were missing. There was another selling attempt. It was quite a significant selling attempt. Even in the next candle, there was selling, and the morning's selling absorption zone was easily broken. It was broken very easily. Okay. This was the candle where the market faced rejection from here. It gave a downside movement up to this point. This was the candle where a good number of sellers had entered. For the first time, okay, so let's mark this zone again. Now see, the maximum selling has happened around this zone. But the market did break this to the upside once, but now it has come back below it, and again there has been significant selling. It came back here around the same resistance but did not break the resistance. It means that the market is getting stuck somewhere right there, just moving a little above. Okay, a buyer made an attempt to break this resistance, but all of them got absorbed here. This selling had already indicated that everything has turned back towards the selling side. There is one candle where buyers came in, and see here, buying of 47k and 30k. But the very next candle showed that even outside this candle, everything got absorbed here, and then again, everything shifted to the selling side, and this same resistance, again on the pullback, selling activity started again, and again it came on the pullback. This time, there is no buying activity happening at all as soon as this got absorbed. After that, whenever it touched here, there was no buying activity in the market at all. Just a 21k, and the next candle gave confirmation that a 2k negative delta basically meant nothing happened. Okay. And again, it got rejected from this same resistance. It gave us a move up to the next support zone. In this candle, the 1250 candle, we saw today's biggest selling volume, and what was it? Around 2.5 lakh delta. There was selling of around 2 lakh 35,000 in this candle. Our job is the same, to see where the maximum selling happened, 98.3867. This is the highest selling zone. Now, if the market breaks above this selling zone, then all this selling will be absorbed. If it breaks to the downside, then this same selling will act as a resistance. But what confirmation did we get here? It broke to the upside. Okay, look at this. At 56, 98, 38, and 67, the price broke towards the upside. There was some light buying around the 30k level. A pullback came, then a slight upward movement, and it closed right there. If we take an overall view of Nifty today, what did we get to see? A selling absorption was observed. Buyers entered, there was a pullback, and then an upside movement. Here too, quite a few buyers came in, but the market got stuck above the resistance, and during the pullback, it broke through all the buying zones of this candle. Sellers came in, again sellers entered. But there was this support zone where selling absorption had happened in the morning, which was working. But in the next few candles, even this selling zone was broken, turning everything bearish. The support here was broken, and this selling made everything bearish. This was the place where, when this downside movement happened, the most selling took place. Once, there was an attempt to break it, but again a selling activity happened, and at the same spot, buyers tried to enter, but all the buyers got absorbed. A pullback came. Without any buying interest, there was a good amount of selling in the downside movement, but the price broke upwards. A pullback came. What does this mean? It means that all this selling got completely absorbed. Some light buyers also came in. There was a pullback, and again, a downside turned into an upside. Okay, this was today's quick analysis of Nifty. Now, whatever questions you all have, please unmute yourself and ask.